Hi, Clay with OnSharp, joined by Jake Dahl. Today we're going to be talking about questions that companies should ask themselves before deciding to develop an app. So, Jake, what are some things that a company needs to think about? They know of, a lot of companies that have apps, seems like the cool thing to do. How should they evaluate whether or not this is a project that they should take on?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first question they need to ask is, what is the purpose of their app just in general? A lot of times that when we're dealing with companies, they always say, oh, we want an app, but they don't really necessarily know why they need an app. The questions to be thinking about are, is this something that you're going to interact with your clients on a regular basis? Is it just going to be something that they use, every other month? Those are the types of questions that you want to be answering, because that'll really kind of lead you in what you may need for an app, but in also other cases, you might want to be looking at other things as well, like maybe just a really good mobile responsive site, and it maybe doesn't need to have an app associated with it.
So you need to start with the end in mind. What is the purpose for your app? Is it to serve your customers? Is it to generate business? Is it to maybe even help serve your employees and equip them with the tools they need? So start with the question, what would be the purpose of your app? So that's question number one. What's the second question they can ask?
Ultimately, who is your ideal user? Who is going to be using this app? Is this going to be for external for your clients? Is it going to be internal for your employees? Those are the big questions to be thinking about when you're doing a project like this, because that makes a big difference in how you go about actually designing and building out the app in general.
So again, first question is, what is even the purpose of the app? And related to that is, who is the end user? So they've got those two questions answered. They have a pretty good idea of what the app they want to create is and who's going to use it. What's the next thing they need to start thinking about before creating that?
Yeah, once you've determined those first two questions, really it comes down to, what is your MVP? And no, it's not most valuable player. It's what we call as minimally viable product. What's that piece that you can get out to the marketplace today that's going to give you enough to where you can start seeing success from it? What really allows these apps to grow over time is user feedback. One of the common mistakes people make is they tend to overbuild right off the bat. And what you've done is you've built this grand app system, whatever you want to call it, but people may be only using 20 to 30% of it, and you don't want to be in that situation. You want to start off small and be able to gradually scale it as your business grows as well.
So I started with that MVP. You can get something out there, something that's serviceable, that looks good, that gets the job done, and then you can take that feedback or that real world interaction with that, make improvements and changes that you might not be able to foresee in the planning stages, right?
Absolutely, 100%.
Now, what's another thing that they can do if they've gotten that far along? How can they make sure that their app is going to hit that MVP stage and be the best it can be? What's another question they can ask?
One of the things that we always ask people to look at is what are your competitors doing? Okay, what are other people in the marketplace kind of doing? Whether it's similar or whether you have a completely new and different idea, but you want to make sure that you do differentiate yourself. If, for example, if you have 1 million users on another app that's already out there, what's the point in building one that's just like it? You got to provide something that's going to be a different and unique experience. So really be looking at what else is out there. Plus, it gives you ideas of what you like and maybe some things that you want to change when it comes to your own app.
So they've gone through this whole process. They've got a pretty good idea of what their app needs to be, what they would like it to be. They've looked at the competitive landscape, seen if maybe they're falling behind and need to play catch up, or if they might have a competitive advantage by creating an app. What's the fifth and final thing that they need to start to evaluate before this project starts?
The biggest thing when it comes down to it, if you've gone through questions 1 through 4 and you've made those determinations, is are you hiring the right app development company to do this project? These are not projects where you simply just jump in and say, hey, let's develop it. It takes a planning stage. You really have to work with a provider that's been doing this and has the experience to get you where you want to go. So make sure you're asking the right questions, ask for references, and really make sure that they understand what you're looking for and what the end goal is.
So there's a lot of app developers out there, so you want to be making sure that you're asking good questions. We've got some other resources on that you can check out on our channel, but really want to make sure that they're teaming up with a partner that can not only build this thing out, but they can get it done right, they can get it done on time, they can get it done on budget, and have that reliability and that service behind it.
Exactly, and also make sure when you're looking for the right provider as well, make sure it's something that's going to be scalable as well. It's just like anything else. Just because you have it out there today, your business might change 2-3 years down the road or more. You want to have something that's flexible enough to where you can add on what you need as you need it. And that's just how we build everything here at OnSharp.
So if you are thinking about creating an app, hopefully those questions have helped you to really analyze whether now might be the time to do so. If you've gone through those and you're pretty sure there's something you'd like to explore and you'd like some expert advice and opinions on how to proceed from there, encourage you to reach out to OnSharp. You can check out our information at onsharp.com/apps. Give us a call, talk to Jake here, and he can help you evaluate this further and get a plan put in place.